Hey guys, Ray from OliviaRV.com. Well, the UPS man just dropped off another one of my winter goodies. A dehumidifier is pretty well mandatory if you're going to RV in the winter on the coastal British Columbia, just because there's so much cold weather humidity. So I did a lot of research and found this one, Ivation 19 Pint Desiccant Dehumidifier, and I thought that would be the best. There were some good reviews from some boaters and RVers. This isn't a compressor type unit. It runs on what they call a desiccant. There's a kind of a spinny wheel in there. Anyway, what it boils down to is it works pretty good in cold weather, not so great in warm weather, but it's a lot lighter. Also puts out a little bit of heat, which would be a kind of an advantage when we're RVing in cold weather. Anyway, let's get her out of the box and have a look at it. Okay, here we go. I guess it's called Ivation. And that thing is right around, I think it's 19 inches tall, about a foot wide, maybe 6 or 8 inches deep. So it's very compact, weighs in right around 17 pounds or so. Of course, more when it gets water in it. Nice little carrying handle here, so it's easy to move around. And it also came with this hose. There's an option to connect a drain hose at the back of it. So what I'm probably going to do when we get into the winter and we're kicking a lot of moisture in here, I'm going to take it and put this hose right out on the slide. There's a little corner there. I can feed it out there and then hook it to the back of this. There's a little hole that punches out, and then it'll continuously drain outside and I won't have to empty it or anything. So let's turn her on. This one also has a directional thing on it, and you can have it rotate back and forth. Look at the display here. So there's our relative humidity right now. It says 66, temperature 19 Celsius. So we have different modes here. There's the high fan. And then there's a sleep mode. In sleep mode, quiet fan, and it dims the display. And then there's your normal low mode. So it's very quiet. I like that, and because it doesn't have a compressor, so of course it's not going to be coming on and off like the compressor ones do. And then we got a humidity button, different settings. You can tell it to go, let's see what we got, 80, continuous, and 35. So we'll just leave it for that. Got a dimmer button. That's nice. Dim the display for people at night that can't handle the brightness like Anne. She doesn't like any light at night. We got a timer, so we can set it to run a certain amount of hours. Let's see how many hours she can run. 12. Yeah, so up to 12 hours there. And then we got this thing called swing, and that controls the swing of this. There's a little graphic right there. Let's push that. So you can have the full swing. This is good for drying clothes or towels. You can have no swing, or we can have swing up at the top part, or a lower swing. So that's basically it. Not a whole lot to it. It just sits in the corner and chugs along. Give you a look at the bottom tray here where you pull it out for the water. So down below we got a tray. Pull that out to empty the water. Water sits in there, you can empty it there. I guess this is where it enters here, and there's a little handle to carry it around. Cool. So you know me, I'm just going to have to take this apart and see how this thing operates inside. Even though I bought it, probably avoid my warranty. I'll be very careful. Anyway, this thing went for, it been up in Canada with Canadian bucks, I paid $349 for it, but I see it on Amazon, US dollars, $199 on Amazon currently. So it comes with a 6-foot cord, and back here we also have a filter. Looks like it's just a fine screen you can wash off once in a while. Let's get down to the tag here to give you some details. We've got capacity 19 pints per day, 68 Fahrenheit, 60% relative humidity. Power high, on high it's 670 watts, low 390 watts, so that's not too bad. Working environment 33F, just above freezing, to 104F, net weight 15 pounds. So the advantage of this in a cold weather climate, like we're going to be in here, you can see it's already foggy and cool this morning, is this thing actually puts out a bit of heat at the same time. So, you know, if you're in Florida and it's moist but warm, it wouldn't be very good. You wouldn't want to put heat into your RV when it's already hot. But where we are spending the winter, the heat is going to be welcome. Let me see if I can peel this back cover off and we can get a look at the internal workings of this. I'm curious to see how the desiccant dehumidifiers work. Well, it came apart pretty easily. It's a dozen or so Phillips screws. Kind of really modular, so that's a good sign. Usually if it comes apart nicely, it's built with some servicing in mind. Looks like it's pretty easy to take apart and service and change parts if I need to. Looks like your fan motor here, a little squirrel cage fan, blows the air. Over here we have another motor that's probably going to run the desiccant wheel. And then this is the top part, there's the control board. And then down here there's another little motor that runs the exhaust there. It actuates the vent. It has a swing to it. So that's the front side. Just let me flip it over and I'll give you another view. See what that looks like. Looks like a capacitor there. And some type of switch. I'm not sure what's down here. Something taped. Since it's taped, I'll just leave it alone. Maybe it's like a battery for the memory, because when you unplug it and plug it in, it seems to keep its act together and remember what the settings were. So I wouldn't doubt if that's a little lithium battery pack. Here's the back side. Looks like we got some sort of coil kind of radiator thing, like a condenser. And the air is drawn in through there, and you can see below it is the actual desiccant platter. It's got kind of a honeycomb material made up of lots of different little cells. I guess the humid air gets drawn in there, goes through that disc. And then there's a heater in here that blows warm air, and it combines, probably comes back into this thing, gets condensed, and then it drops out the bottom. There's a little rubber thing here, flips out. I guess it hits a certain pressure and that opens up and drops into the bucket over there. Or I can flip that up and attach the hose to it, and then gravity feed it out of the rig. Also looks like there's a little sensor here. Cool, well there's a lot of pieces to it, so I can see why it would be worth a little bit of money. Seems rather well built. And underneath the top cover here is the electronic guts of it with some relays. various components and plugins and that. Yeah, this little motor looks like runs the desiccant wheel. And this must be the exhaust fan, and this must be the intake fan, and somewhere buried in there will be a heater. Cool. Well, let's put it all back together and see if it still works. Woohoo! Seems to be still working. Let's install that drain hose. Just a little thing to cut out at the back here. There we go. Drain hose can go through there. Attach. Okay, fits. So this drawer still fits in there. Yep, no problem. Let's fire her on, see if she works, see if we can get any water coming out of that hose. And there we go, you can start to see the water slowly coming out of there, out of the drain tube. So this is likely where we'll run it most of the time. It's pretty central to our rig, right in the middle. And I just have the hose going out of the slide there. Give you an indication of how much it heats. There's 62 Fahrenheit right now in here. And the air coming out is just a rough 112, 113, 114. So you know, it works pretty good as a little heater. And we'll check the wattage right now on low. Using 388 watts. I'm running that off my inverter, so I figure what I can do probably is mostly run this little thing off my inverter and use my solar power and batteries to actually power this. Because we're only on a 30 amp service, so I'm going to be trying to save as much electric as I can. So there you go, that's the Ivation 19 pint desiccant dehumidifier. Quick look at it, look inside in a demo. I'll come back after we've used it a while in the winter here and give you a full review. So far online, most of the reviews have been positive. The only thing that was a negative is some people said it would start to rattle after a while. Something in it would start to rattle. It would still work, it would just make kind of an annoying little rattle noise. So if that happens, I'll be sure to take it apart and actually see what is causing the rattle. Until next time, Ray from loveyourrv.com. Thanks for watching. Cheers, folks.